the YouTube world and all who are watching this. I am Mackenzie in 901K, and today we are doing a 24-hour readathon where we are going to be reading some hopefully whimsical, atmospheric books for 24 hours. Hello guys, Editing May here, and I wanted to give you all just a quick rundown of how this readathon is going to work because I did not explain it when I originally filmed this intro. So we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon that is split up over 2 days. So we're doing 12 hours one day and 12 hours the next day. I wanted to do it that way I didn't have to like sacrifice sleep or anything, and I could maximize my reading time that way. So that's what we're doing. We're reading 12 hours the first day and 12 hours the second day. And yeah, let's get back into the video. I haven't done a 24-hour readathon in a very long time. I think the last one that I did was with Katie and Cass. They're not joining me today, unfortunately, but we are still going to be having a fun 24-hour readathon. I do have quite the stack of books here. Are we going to be reading all of these books? No. But are we going to have some good options to pick from? Yes. So the first book that is on my TBR that I don't have physically is The Raven Scholar. I really want to read this book. It is a high fantasy situation with a good romantic subplot, and all I know is it's kind of like the Hunger Games, but it's like people competing to be like the next scholar or something like that. So I really want to read that book. I don't think I'll finish The Raven Scholar today, but I would like to start it a little bit later. Then the rest of the books that I have on my TBR are actually physical books. The first book that I have is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This book has been on my TBR for quite a few years at this point, and whoever fixed this book stuck the page to the front of the book, so I can't really read. Well, I guess I can. Some type of alliance is happening with Death himself. I don't know what exactly goes on in here. I've just heard it's really like gothic, a great gothic fantasy story. So we shall see if I end up reading this. This one I'm not completely sold on, to be honest with you. Then we have Don't Let the Forest In. This one is following the main characters, Andrew and Thomas. And apparently some type of like fairy tale comes to life, and there's like a murder mystery aspect, and they're like fighting these monsters. It sounds really interesting. This is Katie's book club pick for August. No, not August. This is Katie's book club pick for September, and I really want to read this. I've heard some really great things about this book, and it does seem pretty intriguing. So this one's on the TBR. Then we have Nightshade by Autumn Woods. This is a dark academia murder mystery that takes place in the Scottish Highlands at Sorrow Song University. And then we have Rewitched. If you guys have been following me for a minute, then you would have seen that I picked this book up in Arkansas last year when I went to go visit Katie, Cass, and a few of Katie's college friends. I never finished this book. I got around page 90, so I am going to be picking up where I left off. I do remember the premise of this book, and that Belladonna Blackthorn has to get back in touch more with her magic because there's some type of magical competition or something that she has to, it's something to do with her 30th birthday, and she has to show that she is still worthy of her magic. I have heard that the romance isn't the best in here, but the magical and the whimsical premise and the just overall plot of the book is worth the read. So I'm excited to pick this one back up. And then we have Hand on the Wall. This is the third book in the Truly Devious series. If you guys watched my reading murder mystery books for a week, you would have seen me pick up the first 2 books in this series. I loved the first 2 books in this series, and the second one left off on like such a huge cliffhanger. So I have been really excited to get back into the Truly Devious series. It follows a past present timeline where we follow modern day Stevie Bell going to Ellingham Academy, and she wants to try to solve the murder mystery cold case that was never solved quite a bit of time ago. I forgot how many years it is between. That murder mystery took place, I believe, in the 1930s, and she is going through these clues and things. Truly Devious might be back in present day, or someone, you know, is pretending to be Truly Devious, and there's just a whole lot of stuff that goes down in these books. And honestly, this is probably my favorite murder mystery series that I have ever read, just because I feel like Maureen Johnson really develops these books very like intricately. She cares about how her plots play out, and I feel like this is just a very like attention to detail murder mystery series, and I'm having such a fun time with it. I love the academic setting that we're in. It's just overall so fun. Very last, I did want to include a graphic novel on this TBR, and that is Over the Garden Wall, Hollowtown. This is a Over the Garden Wall that is not canon to the Over the Garden Wall series. I'll take more Over the Garden Wall content where I can get it. I have one more book that I forgot to add, and this one is a big maybe, but it has been on my mind recently, and I've been seeing a couple of people pick it up, especially on TikTok, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I know I'm not the biggest Ali Hazelwood fan. Ali Hazelwood is just a very okay author to me, but I have been seeing quite a few people read Bride, absolutely love it recently, and I know like some things that go down in Bride because I of course was like paying attention when it came out and the topic that's in it. I'm gonna skip that part because that's not the part that I care about, but I have heard that the male main character is decent. Maybe gonna pick up Bride in this video. I don't know. I just kind of have a different array of books to choose from because I want to be kind of like chill during this readathon. I don't want to try to read the most books ever or anything like that. I just want to have fun and read some silly goofy books and like start getting into my fall TBR. So that's it. That's all I got. So starting off today, what we're going to do is I'm going to be setting up my September bullet journal spread. I do need to do that because in the last video that I posted that I did journaling in, we did my just general fall TBR spread, but I really want to set up my September spread. So we're gonna do that. I'm going to start reading Hand on the Wall. I'm starting with this one because I have an audiobook for it and I do love to listen to these books. So this is what we're starting with. I'm going to journal and I'm also going to do a bit of cleaning. That's really all I have planned for right now. Who knows what we'll get into today. We could do a whole array of things. I just want to have a good 24 hours reading some good books and doing some of my favorite activities. Let's go ahead and let's get into the journaling, and let's also get started with Hand on the Wall.
The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson.
Hello everybody, it's a little bit later and I have been listening to Truly Devious for most of the day. So I'm currently on chapter 17. I am 5 hours into Truly Devious. So I probably have about an hour and like a half or so left in it. Not a lot left. I'm over halfway through and so much has went down, which I am so appreciative of. I feel like compared to like Truly Devious and The Vanishing Stair, I feel like those stories were kind of slow to take off. That's understandable for those books because they are the first couple of books in the series, and like I said earlier, Maureen Johnson really pays attention and cares about how she like sets up her books and her world. And I really, even just by like looking at her picture back here, I feel like she really loves mysteries and she really cares about them. I really think that you can see that in this series and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think so far maybe this one is my favorite just because there has been so much going down and I feel like we are finally focusing on more than just the past Truly Devious situation. We are focusing on some of these situations that have happened. Stevie now thinks that what's happening is connected somehow and we're just trying to see what is going on like present day, and we're getting more about what's going on present day, which I really like because present day I feel like has been put on the back burner because we've been trying to figure out who Truly Devious is and figure out what happened when the original Ellinghams were kidnapped and things like that. That is why I'm loving this book so much, is because I feel like we're getting a lot more action and there's a lot more happening and things like that. So plans for now, I want to finish Hand on the Wall. I'm planning on finishing it in, like I said, like an hour or so. So hopefully we will get it done. I'm still working on cleaning. I am going to put some books away and I'm going to try to organize my TBR cart because I do still have like stacks of books over here that are on like my fall TBR and things, and I really want to situate my TBR cart just a little bit so that way those are displayed a little bit better, things like that. So I'm going to work on that first, and then like I said, I'm going to be listening to The Hand on the Wall while I am working on that. And then as far as what we're going to read next, I think I may want to read the Over the Garden Wall graphic novel next, just because I really want to read it. And I feel like it'll be a good palate cleanser because for the rest of the night, I'm going to be glued to a book. I'm going to go ahead and continue listening to The Hand on the Wall, and then I'm going to organize my bookshelves. So let's get into some bookshelf organization. Hello everybody, I just finished listening to The Hand on the Wall and I really enjoyed this. Like, I immensely enjoyed this book. So this really wrapped up the Truly Devious case, which I was not expecting because I thought that Nine Liars was going to be like the spin-off, I guess, but this pretty much wrapped up the Truly Devious case. So I did not expect that. I also did not expect who it was. When Stevie explained it and how she figured it out, it made sense who it was that was doing all of these horrible things in the present day. And of course she fully figured out what happened in the original Truly Devious case that took place in the 1930s. It was really interesting how it all wrapped up. I love our group of characters that we follow in this. Very good found family vibes in this book. I also really love Stevie. Stevie is probably one of my like top favorite female main characters just because she is so smart, and again, she still really reminds me of Wednesday. Like, not in the Wednesday vibe that she's like gothic and like boo, but she reminds me of Wednesday in like the show where Wednesday is like obsessed with solving murders and crimes and things like that. That is the type of Wednesday that she reminds me of. I really overall loved how this story wrapped up. I don't know if I love the romance that takes place. The romance is definitely like a subplot, and I do like the romance, but I don't love the love interest. He is just not my type at all, and he would quite frankly get on my nerves if I was Stevie. So I really think this book is going to be a 5-star just because I have really loved the Truly Devious case. I've loved learning about it. It has been so much fun, and this series is so perfect for this time of year because we start, I think it starts in September, well, August, September, somewhere in there, and then this book took place in December. This is just so perfect for this time of year. I cannot recommend the Truly Devious books enough. They're just so good. So moving on from that, I did want to do a quick little haul of a few things that I have thrifted recently. They're mostly DVDs, but I did also thrift this thing, which is a pumpkin pie, well, a pie baking thing, and I've been in my baking era recently. I really have been enjoying baking now more than ever. So I wanted to get like a pie baking pan situation. So that's what this is. This is a baking dish. It was from Michael's in the 2010s. So it's cute. I really like the pattern in it, and it's also got the same pattern on the sides, and I just love this, and I'm very excited to make a pumpkin pie and put in here. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin pie, my family loves pumpkin pie, so I'm gonna make pumpkin pie for them in this. And then I did, like I said, buy a bunch of DVDs, but first I also bought a Switch game. Switch? No. I bought a DS game because I do still have a little pink DS that I love so much, and I've been wanting to collect some more DS games for it just to like have and play. I do want to play this. This is the Tangled DS game, and it is so cute looking. I'm very excited to play this. I hope that it works. It was $3, but I still hope that it works regardless, but I'm very excited for this. I got some DVDs. I'm trying to collect some physical media. I have a bunch from my childhood that's tucked away in storage, but I don't have any from like this era, so I decided to pick up a few. First one I picked up, well actually I guess the first 3 that I picked up are the Lord of the Rings movies. So I did pick up all of the movies in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So we have The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and we also have Return of the King. These are all full screen except for one, which is widescreen, and I don't necessarily know if I know the difference, but I picked them up regardless. They were like $2 a piece, so I'm happy that I have these now to add to my collection. And then I also found this. This is New Moon. This is the second movie in the Twilight movie series, and this one has the reflective thing, so it switches to like Edward and Jacob, and it's really, really cool. I did also look at the back of all these movies, and they are in good condition. And then something that I bought new because I'm afraid that I won't be able to find it out thrifting is Over the Garden Wall. I did pick up the physical copy of Over the Garden Wall just because they have changed Over the Garden Wall around a lot on streaming. So I want to make sure that if they ever decide to take it off of streaming that I am prepared. So I did pick this up, I think for like $7. So I mean, it wasn't bad. So also I do want to now pick up Over the Garden Wall Hollow Town. I really want to read this. It looks like it's going to be so interesting, and I am obsessed with the art style because it is a little bit different than what's in the show. But look at that. Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is what we are going to be picking up next. I think it's getting ready to rain, honestly. It looks very like dark and stormy outside. So I think this will be perfect to read while it's raining. And then after that, I don't know what else I'm gonna read. I'm gonna go start Over the Garden Wall, Hollow Town, and I'll update you guys in a bit. Hello guys, I do have a guest here. Astrid's here. Say hey everybody. Say I am so tired and I'm being forced to be in this video. Anyway, but Astrid's here. First of all, I am still watching the Chiefs game. It is in the background and I have been doing a little bit of reading, but I do want to share what I did finish, and that is Over the Garden Wall, Hollow Town. Honestly, this one was kind of fun. It definitely, I was a bit worried with it not being canon that it was going to play out a little bit differently than like a normal like Over the Garden Wall episode would have played out. But honestly, I was kind of really surprised by this. It was really fun. So we pretty much follow Work, Greg, and Beatrice, and they are making their way through the forest, and Greg loses a shoe. They end up like hitching a ride with some people, and they go to this Hollow Town, and Hollow Town is a little bit odd because all of the people there are pretty much made out of wood, and they're just a little bit creepy. That's like the premise of this book, and it was really fun. I really liked the art style and I had a good time. That's my thoughts on Over the Garden Wall, Hollow Town. I had fun and I love reading a good little graphic novel. You guys also seen me pick up Bride, and I don't really have a lot to talk about because I am only on page 25. I have been like watching a little bit of the Chiefs game, like when the Chiefs are like doing their thing and it's not like the other team doing their thing. I have been reading it in between and I've been getting a little distracted. So this one is following Misery, and at first I thought this was gonna be a dual POV, but I guess not, which like I don't think any of Ali Hazelwood's other books are dual POV, so I don't really necessarily know why I thought that, but I did think that. So this one is following Misery, and Misery is the daughter of a very powerful vampire. The very first part of the book starts off with Misery walking down the aisle. She decides to accept this fake marriage arrangement deal in order to help the war between the vampires and the werewolves. We see her walking down the aisle. She's at first getting ready, and we see her talk to Owen, and then she walks down the aisle, and we do get one little tiny snippet of a conversation between her and the love love interest. And then we flash back in the first chapter to 6 weeks before the ceremony, and we just found out that she was working a like normal human job. Then this lady shows up and she's like, hey, we're gonna need you to come back to like the vampire place. And so she ends up going back to the vampire place to talk to her father that she's not spoken to in a while. We figure out about the arranged marriage situation. That's where I'm at right now. It's interesting to see Allie Hazelwood's take on like vampire lore and things like that. It's overall just been decent. I mean, so far, so good. This may be my new favorite Allie Hazelwood book. I don't know though. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, it's been good. It's been fun. It's been entertaining. So I am going to read more of Bride. I don't really know what else I'm going to get into tonight. I just kind of really want to finish watching the Chiefs game and reading more of Bride and then going to bed, and then we'll pick back up tomorrow and do the other 12 hours that we have to read. So far it's been a pretty successful day. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I've got. I guess we will pick back up tomorrow. I don't know, we may do something in the morning. Maybe we will play something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do some sort of like hobby tomorrow. I kind of maybe want to color. We haven't colored in a while together, so maybe coloring is the move. I will give you guys an update in the morning on Bride and whatever we decide to do. So I will speak to you all in a bit. Hello everybody. So it's currently the next day and I did end up reading a bit more of Bride and Rewitched. So let's talk about Bride first. I'm currently on page 120 in Bride. I'm almost halfway. I'm getting there. I'm getting close to being halfway through. And I don't know how I'm feeling about it. Not because of the normal reasons. I think that I don't really vibe with an Allie Hazelwood book. Normally, Allie Hazelwood's books are very insta-lovey. And this one is really like slow moving. I think that for the most part this book has just kind of bored me a little. So like I told you all last night, this book is following our main character Misery, and she is in an arranged marriage. She gets in this arranged marriage and they have maybe spoken at this point in the book a handful of times. She's never really like around him. She never speaks to him. They only have like short passing conversations. I just don't see how a romance is going to stem in this. Granted, I am probably a little bit over a third of the way in the book, so I know there is like, you know, a bit more book to go. This book is almost 400 pages. I mean, it's a longer book. It's a little bit longer for a romance book. I just don't know how we are going to get a romance in this so far. I kind of like Misery. I don't really have any opinions on her yet, but I kind of like her. And then as far as Low, I don't really like him. I am going to try to finish this book today. This is like the main priority. And then I have been listening to a bit more of Rewitched, and honestly I'm kind of vibing a little bit more with Rewitched. I'm a bit into chapter 10. I'm listening to this one and I'm kind of vibing with it. So this one's following Belladonna, and on her 30th birthday she is summoned to like this witch court situation in her coven. They are trying to figure out whether or not she's still worthy of this power, and they go through these like instances in her life. They have kind of decided as of right now that she's not necessarily worthy, but they did not deem her of that. They actually like ended the meeting. They adjourned the meeting for the day. So I'm interested to see how she's going to prove that she's still worthy of her magic. So that's where I'm at in this one, and so far this one is really cute. I am enjoying this. Again, I've heard that the romance in this is not good, but we will see. These are going to be my 2 reads for the day. I'm probably going to try to sit down and read a bit more of Bride for a little bit. I really want to try to finish Bride a bit earlier in the day. Maybe, what time is it? Maybe by like 4 I can finish Bride or so in a couple of hours. That's a lot of reading for a couple of hours. Maybe a little bit longer than that. Maybe like 5 I can finish Bride, and then we can listen to majority of Rewitched, and I think that's really all that we're gonna have time for. I have 4 hours and 24 minutes left in the Rewitched audiobook. We're gonna try to finish both of these. I started my reading this morning again at like 9 a.m. around 9 a.m. more like 9:30. I'm going to try to read again for 12 hours today, so I'm going to read until 9 o'clock tonight. So I think that should give me ample time to finish the both of these, but I don't think I'll be able to get to the Raven Scholar. If I do, I'll be shocked, to be quite honest with you. But I'm like a fast-ish reader. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think first I'm going to maybe go take a quick shower, and then it is another rainy day outside today, so there's not really a lot that I'm going to do, just because on rainy days I just like to just sit and kind of vibe. We may play something later, or we may do another hobby of some sort. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I may watch something later. I kind of really want to watch some like fall cartoon of some sort. I've really been into watching the fall cartoons recently since it's turned September, so we may do that. We may take a break and watch like a 30-minute episode of something in between these or something, but for now I'm going to be continuing my read of Bride, and then I will update you guys later. Hello everybody. So it is quite a bit later, honestly, and I am officially here to give you guys some reading updates. I have read 2 books. So the first book that I finished is Bride. I finished Bride a little bit later than what I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to finish Bride like hours ago, and it took me a while to read it, but I think I really enjoyed this book. This has probably been my most favorite Ali Hazelwood book, and I cannot remember what I gave Check and Mate when I read it, because before that was my favorite Ali Hazelwood book, but I think that now it's this one. And like, this is not a 5-star book by any means. This is not a book that I would like recommend on the daily, but for what I was wanting at the time, for it to be like a supernatural, like romantic thing, I really enjoyed it. I think I ended up really liking Misery. I know I said I didn't really love Misery at the beginning, and I think I really did end up enjoying her. I really liked Lo. He was a pretty good main character, and I had a good time with it, and I'm very happy that I read it, and I'm glad that TikTok finally convinced me to read this because it was fun. I would read again, maybe, potentially in the future, and I'm excited to read Mate, which comes out in October, I think. So I'm excited to read Mate. I cannot wait to see like what that entails and things. And yeah, I had a really fun time with this, and I'm very happy that we decided to read this because I have been wanting like a paranormal romance, and that's exactly what this was. And also I think that Ali Hazelwood's writing in this was really good. Like, she was funny, and I did laugh a few times at a few things. I thought Misery was very funny. I liked her humor. It's a very specific kind of humor, and I really liked it. So I really enjoyed this, and I'm so glad that I read it. When I wrote it down, I gave it a 3.5 star, but now I kind of want to give it like a 3.75, maybe even a 4 star, just because it was fun. I mean, the first half of the book was dragging, and it was a little bit boring, and I did have issues, you know, no interactions between our main characters in a romance book, but aside from that, we got there. And when we got to the romance, that's when I was like really starting to like amp up and be like, yeah, I like this book. It's fun. So I think maybe it's going to be a 3.75 to a 4. I don't know. I had fun with it. This is the first Ali Hazelwood book where I've been like, yeah, it was fun. I do still have a but after that. It was fun, but it was still fun nonetheless. So that's my thoughts on Bride. I really recommend this. Despite the spicy scenes, which again, I'm not a big fan of, and I did skip over them, I felt like the book was decently balanced. I mean, it could have been a little bit more like mental connections, but I really do feel like we got good mental connections between our characters before any type of like physical romance interactions happened, which I was very happy about. So I mean, I could get a little bit more critical about this book, but I really don't want to do that because it's just a silly, goofy romance, and that's what I'm gonna take it as, and we're gonna move on. And then I also read Over the Garden Wall, Soulful Symphonies. This one was fun. I think maybe out of the 2 Over the Garden Wall graphic novels that I read, I maybe liked this one a little bit more. I don't know. It just had that quicker flow, and it felt more like this could be in the show than the other one felt. Like, this feels like it could be in the show. This could have been another episode. I like the creepy factor a little bit more in here. It felt more Over the Garden Wall-esque. I still don't think I'm going to give either one of these graphic novels a rating, but it was fun. So I should also probably tell you what this is about. Wirt and Greg get roped into this like theater, and they're supposed to like perform. There's some weird things happening with these 3 ladies. It's a bit of a journey. There is singing in here, which I don't really love to like read singing. And also, I did want to mention, I did not finish Rewitched. I know. Before anybody comments, girl, you picked this book up twice in 2 separate reading vlogs, like almost a year apart, and you're still not finished with this book. No, I'm not. Sorry about it. I do plan on finishing this book hopefully this week. I'm not going to say that like 100% for sure going to finish this week, but I am going to like try my darndest to finish this week. I got to chapter 10, and I do really like the audiobook, so I think I'm going to continue listening to this, and then hopefully maybe we'll read Charmed soon as well, because I think Charmed does come out later this month and I would like to read it. And now I'm kind of really in like the romance mood, which this, again, I've heard the romance is not good in this, but I really want to just read a romance. So I don't know. We'll see what I end up reading. I'm not reading anything else for this video though. Yeah, I did not finish this. I'm not DNFing it, but I did not finish it in this video. It will be finished this spooky season, just not in this video. And then the only other 2 books that we read in this video is Over the Garden Wall, Hollowtown. I kind of already just touched on this. I really enjoyed this. I really wish that they would have included, like, maybe make an extended edition of Over the Garden Wall and include some of these stories, because I really liked this one and I really liked Soulful Symphonies as well. Like, they were fun. They could have definitely been in the Over the Garden Wall show, 100%. Anyway, had fun with this, not giving that a rating. And then we did also read Hand on the Wall. I gave this book a 5-star. I really loved the Truly Devious series. I am planning on continuing the Truly Devious series as well. Like I said, this wraps up the Truly Devious part of Truly Devious, and some wild things go down. And I really, really, really recommend this series. Like, I had so much fun reading this, reading Truly Devious, and reading The Vanishing Stair. I do want to continue my Truly Devious journey with The Box in the Woods, I think that's what it's called, and also 9 Liars. But we're not doing that in this video. But I do want to in the future. So that is it for today's video. I think we have definitely kicked off the cozy season very well. We watched some Over the Garden Wall. We did some cozy hobbies, and we did read quite good books in this video. I had a fun 24 hours reading for the most part. I don't really typically love to film 24-hour reading vlogs, just because I feel like I'm trying to always like rush and get through books, and I would rather film like a week-long reading vlog than just a 24-hour one. But I still think they're fun. I think they're enjoyable, and I had a good time with this. So I hope you guys had an enjoyable time as well. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Helps out the channel and it makes my heart smile. Also, comment down below if you guys have read any of these books, or just if you want to chat about anything cozy season related. Also comment down below. I would love to chat with you guys. And then be sure to tap that subscribe button as well as that post notification bell. We're still currently uploading at Monday at 6 p.m. EST, but we're also doing live streams every Wednesday at 5 p.m. EST, and they have been so fun. I've been enjoying doing the live streams, and I would love to see more of you guys there as well. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.